Hey guys, what's up? Today in the BrickLab we're going to be visiting the underground world of the League of J's. So the goal for this build was to build the League of J's headquarters using J's avatar pod as the base. And in case you don't know, the League of J's is this underground club for all the J fans in the Prime Empire game. And this part of the build is obviously the street outside of the headquarters. I designed it to basically fit in with the Gamers Market set. So if you want, you can just add in the item market here and maybe Okino's weapon shack over here. Or if you wanted, maybe even this useless little Prime Empire archway here, which basically its only purpose is to hold the Kitana. Of course, I like to think that it's maybe an entryway to the Temple of Madness, or maybe even to Tsushimi's little kitchen, which if you haven't seen that yet, that's last week's video, feel free to check that out. Of course, the only problem, which you may have already noticed, is that this Prime Empire square actually belongs in this little archway. That's no big problem, because we can just swap that out for this tile, which comes from the Sons of Garmadon headquarters set. That's where this decoration also comes from as well. I designed this to be Shifty's little stand. Shifty is basically like a little merchant in the game. He has a stand selling all sorts of cool wares. So I gave him a little rotating helmet rack here just to sell some of the different helmets. And in case you're wondering, this helmet comes from Nova. This is from that Power Ranger from Minifigure Series 20, and this is from the Viking from Minifigure Series 20. And if you're wondering why it looks kind of rickety, I kind of designed it to be that way. It's kind of like the rest of Shifty's equipment, not really very trustworthy. And as you can see, there's also a grappling gun in the background with a grappling hook. And in the back, there's also this little safe, which is a gamer's last resort, as I like to call it, because it features a healing potion and a pistol. So when a gamer needs to make their last stand, I guess they get an extra life, and then they can fight off the bad guys for as long as they can. I don't know, that's kind of dark, but I mean, it is just a game, you know. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the J part of the build, which is the part of the build you're actually waiting for. So you'll notice that this looks pretty much just like J's arcade pod, only plopped into the center here, but nothing could be further from the truth, because this is actually the gateway to the headquarters of J's. You just open this up, and the doorway swings open to reveal a party of J's inside. And one cool feature that I would like to point out right off the bat is that you can easily swap between J's avatars in the game. So you can see this is his actual ninja suit here, hidden inside. And if you want to use that, all you have to do is take it out and then just put J's other minifigure inside, and boom, there you go. You can play with one, and when you're done with that, you can just swap it out for the other. It's a handy little play feature, and I stole that from the set. So let's continue our journey inside. And here we have Super Rockstar J with a lot of his cohorts, partying it up around him. Let's remove them so that we can see some more of the features of the build here. So this is the entryway that J's other avatar suit is guarding. And you can see that we also have an arcade here, which I pretty much just stole this from the Dimensions level pack from a couple years ago and just plopped it right in. It seems kind of weird to have an arcade game in Prime Empire because, Prime Empire is the game, but I thought it was a neat touch and something that Jay would like if this was a club that existed in the real life. And then in the corner we have these energy sword type weapon gizmo thingies here. I basically used every opportunity I could to cram weapons all over this thing, because if this is like any secret hideout in any book or movie, then pretty soon the bad guys show up and there's this furious battle and the headquarters gets destroyed. I really don't want that to happen to the League of J's here, so I gave them as many weapons as I could. We have some glowing energy daggers on the wall. We have a pistol also strapped into the wall. And of course, if you're wondering what this blank spot is, it's actually for Jay's guitar, so that he could hang it up when he's not using it, which is probably going to be pretty rare in Prime Empire. Oh, and before I forget, there's also a little scythe hook type weapon hanging up from a clip on the back of the sign. Like I said, I took the opportunity to store weapons, to cram weapons all over this thing. So I really love the way the floor turned out. I could have just left it in as gray, but I really didn't like that. That's kind of bleak and boring, and I had to use gray because obviously the street outside, we couldn't be having this really super colorful street. It'd kind of be a dead giveaway as to what was inside the build, right? So yeah, I just kind of threw tiles down in this random pattern, and it turned out pretty good. And also we have a spinning disco platform here, which I stole from that Sistar Party Crew set. And then a table with some power bolt. The power bolt actually comes from one of the Mighty Micro sets from a couple years ago. I thought it was something Jay would use, so I threw it on the table. And of course, one of the last features is this little decoration. It looks like just a decoration, but I put every square inch of this club to good use, and that means that this little decoration is actually hiding one of the Kitanas, which, don't ask me how the J's got their hands on it, but trust me, if anyone's going to get their hands on something they shouldn't have, it's going to be a J. Anyway, let's go ahead and leave the J's to party it up, and we can go ahead and rearrange our gamers market around it, like I was kind of showing you earlier. I prefer to put the item market in here because it goes really well with Shifty's other gear, and we can add in the Prime Empire archway over here, with Tsushimi's little kitchen where he lurks in wait, waiting to jump on anyone headed to the Temple of Madness, I would assume. And then, of course, somewhere in this scene, we can also add in Okino and his little weapon stand. And then from there, we could throw in a Kitana or two, and the other characters from the Gamers Market set, just to make things a little bit more interesting. Oh, in case you're wondering about this little character, I really am not a huge fan of the rat minifigures. I don't know, there's something about them that's just a little bit off-putting. So instead, I just turned this into an avatar for another player who's possibly against the ninja, given by his evil bad guy life counter here. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this build. I really wasn't planning on doing a build tutorial for it. If you want one, I guess leave a comment below, and if I get enough people commenting that, I'll probably go ahead and make one. Otherwise, you know, this was a fun video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed putting it together. I love how it's packed with details and all that other good stuff. But enough of my back patting. Go ahead, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all that other good stuff. I will see you guys next time.